Well, 15 years ago, the organization Healing Species was born out of the realization that many violent criminals were themselves victims of past abuse and neglect. Today, they use rescued and rehabilitated dogs to educate students, helping them learn a better way to deal with bullying and abuse. Adele Little, along with Kaylee Stunkard, is here. Is that correct? Yeah, Stunkard. Yeah. With the from Healing Species, along with sweet little Iggy. And I tell you what, she is absolutely adorable. Tell us about this program, because unfortunately, a lot of bullying still goes on in schools and college and at workplace and everywhere. And if you learn not to do it when you're young, you're probably not going to do it when you're older.
You've got it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Bullying is in every school, in every classroom even. And so our program, which is termed Violence Prevention and Compassion Education, teaches kids those life skills, how to handle everyday annoyances, bullying, conflict, resolution tools, and also if there's abuse or neglect in their lives, how to identify it, how to get help, and even help somebody else.
Now, how does Iggy come into play? Because Iggy's tail's about to wag right off. She is just a happy girl, just having fun, aren't you? Now, how does Iggy come into play with this?
You go ahead.
All right, well, Iggy is one of our program dogs, so he comes into the classroom with a trained instructor, and he just kind of brings the program to life. He's an example of rising above circumstances. Iggy was a rescued dog, and so he kind of shows kids that you can rise above the circumstances that your life started out with. It doesn't necessarily determine how your life is going to end up.
Tell us how the program has actually worked with maybe some of the students that are out there, as an example.
Yeah, oh gosh, many to choose from. As far as personal body safety, there are kids who have disclosed if they've been harmed or abused, pushed up against the wall by a parent, or touched in private areas by a cousin at grandma's house, or forced to look at pictures by a dad on visitations.
Oh,
and so they, through our program, have the courage, they're empowered to speak up, and so they do, and then it's able to be stopped. So lots of different stories. Behavior changes. Our formal outcomes show that behavior improves, aggression goes down 62%, empathy goes up 42%, and suspensions go down 55%.
That's some good percentages, no doubt about that. How do you folks get into the schools now?
Well, here in the Lowcountry, we've been able to get into some schools through a partnership with Trident United Way and their Links to Success program. And so we're in 6 schools this year, very excited about that. And elsewhere, we usually have a waiting list of schools that are wanting our program.
And we see some of the folks walking some of the dogs around and talking to the students, and the students are able to pet the dog. And sometimes the bullies that are out there, they've been bullied to animals too, because it's one of those things that if dad was picking on them, or other kid is picking on them, when they go to the house, they're gonna pick on the dog, and it's hard for them to differentiate when to be kind to whomever. And with this great example, it really comes about and helps those students that are out there. Now, how many schools have you all been to? Just as an example, how many here in the Lowcountry? Here in the
Lowcountry, there's been probably 9 now that we've been to. We've been in the Lowcountry. This will be starting our 3rd year.
Oh, wow.
And we're based in Orangeburg, and then we have satellites that operate in other states as well.
Wonderful. How can folks get involved with this? I know you're always needing funding. Everybody needs some funding, but of course y'all need some funding, but how can other people get involved?
Definitely. So we have a fundraiser this Saturday at Jack of Cups on Folly Beach.
Okay.
So if you all go out there, starting at 3 p.m., there's lots of events for kids, families, and then in the evening, 2 bands will be having a show out back, so you guys can go to that fundraiser. And as always, donations are accepted online at healingspecies.org. And then we always take sponsors of classrooms.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, thank you so very much.
Yeah, thank you
Get out there
so
to Folly
much.
Beach and see those folks if you can't make it. Tessa's over there pretending like she's surfing. Come here, Iggy. It's all good,
She's
Iggy.
dancing like Iggy Azalea.
We got more coming up after the break. I wish you could show Tessa. She's over there. Go get it. Go get it.